Hello traders, Cory Mitchell of TradeThatSwing.com, and this is a look at the current swing trading watch list. We're going to look at a couple different things. Not a ton on this list. We're going to go through it in less than 5 minutes. Earnings plays, chart patterns, best swing trading stocks list, TATR strategy plays. Earnings, not a ton out there. Let's look at what we got. Zoom Communications, big pop on the earnings, so we are in pullback mode, waiting for a move back up above a candle high. SMTC, same thing. Nice pop, a little bit of a pullback mode. This could continue up, but I like to see that, a little bit of a pullback. Ideally a small candle. Helps with controlling the risk, and then entering as price starts moving up. Can use a average true range trailing stop loss if you want to simplify the exit. Just have a trailing stop loss. NCNO. NCNO, same thing. Nice pop up. Kind of finished, a little bit lower in the candle. So I'll see how this one goes. I'm usually not entering till a few days after that candle, so I get to see, if we see some strength and then a pullback. I think I like that a little bit more. So this one kind of on the cusp of what I'd accept. It's still kind of up in the upper half of the candle, but a stronger close would have been a little bit better for me. There's not much like that. The latest swing trading stocks list has just been so strong. I have it up over here, and if we just flip through them, like, they have not really pulled back to below the line. There was a quick pop on that one below. Com's just hanging out above it. Com was also a recent earnings play. Entry, that's what we are looking for. This type of thing, we have the move up, we have a pullback, and then we start making higher candle highs. So initial stop loss would be there, and then it gets trailed up as the price goes. And all of these, just very strong. Quite a few earnings plays. Wolf as well, popped above there. Hasn't really moved much since then. So initial stop loss would be in play if the trailing stop loss hasn't caught up. All these ones just rocketing up. That one I posted this on the 17th. So this one would have dropped below, and the move back above would have been a potential signal. Reddit just dropped below, so looking for a move back above the line. This needs to flip back to green. This one also below, and W was right on the line. So those are sometimes interesting trades, a little bit of a double pump type pattern. If you've taken my day trading course, this one popped a little bit higher. I like it when they're kind of symmetrical, when it stalls out right near the prior high, pulls back, and then starts bouncing. And I think that was it. Oh, and eBay further down the list. So it just dropped below. And I believe, there it is on the best swing trading stocks list. Also there, it just dropped below. Chart patterns. I would consider this a sampling. I might have missed a few, but I did go through the list. There was about 100 stocks on the Canadian watch list, 150 that made the cut on the US list. Let's just go through a few of them real quick. We don't need this. So this one's starting to contract, worth paying attention to. MGM. Rounding out, so we'd be looking for potentially a pullback. It's nice once it's started to kind of go a little bit. This one, you know, once the pullbacks start forming, you get a little bit more of a reference point. That's why sometimes like the longer ones that last a little while longer, they have some oscillations. Then you get a better idea of where that pullback might come back to. This one's only had one pullback, a deeper one. Maybe we get another deep one, and then you're kind of looking at, you know, into potentially this area. Or it could, if it consolidates here, could break out either way. This one is starting to round out. So looking for those pullbacks as opportunities. RNA. Potential building. Small one at this point, but it's just starting to claw above those prior highs. So if we start to see, you know, a pullback, the moving up, that's what we want to see. Mod. I believe this one was just pausing for the moment. Could build into something. The fact that it had this huge run up and it's just kind of chopping around could develop into a rounded bottom contraction. One to watch. Roblox. Double consolidation. A pattern I really like but don't see too often. And this is, nope. So you have a pullback, little box right near the bottom. Don't even need to include those first bars. Kind of popped off the bottom. You get that little consolidation. And then we have another little consolidation. We are looking for a move above that to potentially trigger a trade. STX. A good example of, you know, there could have been a pattern in here. We don't have to catch the breakout. We can simply trade it as a rounded bottom, wait for a pullback into this, what is now possibly support area, and trade the bounce. So that is what I would be watching for. And yes, it does fit a rounded bottom type pattern, and we could have been in on this breakout with the consolidation, trading the move up, or yeah, let it play out a little bit more and buy into support. This one, like I said, gives you, once you have a few pullbacks, gives you a little bit better idea of where that pullback could come up to. They're not always symmetrical, but it does give you a bit of an idea of where to look for that pullback. I would also say this looks like a pretty well tested level there, so it might come back, probe that area, look for the bounce. XMTR. This one is already an earnings play, so an earnings play happened right here. This is what we're looking for, the pop, the pullback, and candles get a little bit smaller, and we enter right there. So an earnings play is already underway in this, and can use the trailing stop loss for that. But this is also starting to contract. And you can see a little bit higher highs. Don't always love that, but it is contracting in pretty nicely. This one we don't count because that's the move up. First pullback, second pullback, a little bit smaller, and now consolidating here or potentially even pulling back more. But either way, we're getting that consolidation, volume dropping off. Yeah, I'll look through maybe just a couple of these Canadian ones. PMET, get rid of this. Big pattern at the moment, and we'll see what it does. It's just potentially starting to contract, but this would have a ways to go to start really squeezing in. So I wanted to keep on the radar, but not an imminent trade for me. Standard lithium, rounded bottom potential, and contracting a little bit recently. Drop, pull back, and we'll see if that continues to consolidate. But we had this drop here. I don't like how aggressive this was, but it was kind of around an earnings time, then sharp rally. I prefer to see it more rounded out. This is a very V aggressive bottom, but they can sometimes work out well. And we've moved up above the swing high, so we have the actual rounded bottom in place, and now we're looking for entry points. Like I said, once you have a few pullbacks, gives you a little bit better idea of where to get in. So we had the first pullback, a second one, and even right around here wouldn't be too bad. That's a double pump type pattern, what I talk about in my day trading courses. I don't really use it for swing trading much, but sometimes if I happen to notice it, might give me a little bit more confidence in a trade or something. So this one, pull back, moves to the new high, pulls back. So an entry, in around here. Would have to get a pullback at this point to get in around that kind of $4 mark. Unless you saw it earlier, but it only went on the list today, so I'm not in it yet. ETL. Kind of a rounded bottom here too, right? So we were some pretty chaotic movement here. Then we have a little pullback, and the pullbacks start getting smaller, and we have a shift up. A little pullback. Hasn't gotten back down to that price. We're starting to get this shift up. Earnings just happened on this particular day, so we popped a little bit on that, and see if we can keep building above this to the upside. TC rounded bottom. We're in pullback, so we had this rounding here, popped above, higher swing high, in a pullback, and looking for entries. MNO. Same thing. So was dropping, starts to really level off. You have the push up. So a new swing high, first pullback, go to a new high. So in here potentially, or a little bit of a pullback into this area for a rounded bottom. So not a huge list. There are lots of trades kind of undergoing right now. A few of the earnings plays that are still going on that were pretty nice. Pay. So here is the pop, little pullback. We're entering as the price starts moving above candle highs. So that one's well on its way. ENR hasn't really done anything, but it's an example of a trade. So entering there, stop loss below here, and it's still kind of just hovering around there, hasn't done much. Same thing here. So pop. I like to ideally wait a few days, so I'm usually entering at day 4. This is day 2, day 3, and then we keep going up. And so far doing pretty well. LMND, a recent example of one that just got trailed out, but I think I have this. I have this set on my own to 1.5 instead of 2.5. Yes, this one got trailed out here. Entry right there, so not much of a profit on that one. If it was using the 2.5, then that trade would still be going. So I always recommend people set the ATR to what kind of suits their time frame. 1.5R is going to give you, or 1.5 times ATR is going to give you quicker stop outs, but you're also going to give back less when the price actually does reverse. And 2.5, you're going to be in trades a little longer. Calm, this was also one which we had already talked about. Entry here, and still going, but not a real big mover. So there's definitely, there's been some trades out there. Some trades are underway. A few more this week to potentially look into. Market health is good. I should actually update this. It says on the cusp. But yeah, market conditions have improved a little bit since I updated this last week. So I would update this to, yeah, they're okay. I'm fine taking long trades and not too worried about market health at this stage. Happy trading. That took a little bit longer than I hoped. Sorry, but yeah, happy trading.